Can we film a professional commercial on a $100 camera that came out over a decade ago? I don't know, let's find out. So what we're doing with this is we are at a local boxing gym in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are making a Gatorade commercial, but we're gonna be making it as if we have an $80,000 Alexa Mini. We're putting just as much effort into the lighting, the cinematography, the sound design, the editing, but all we're doing is we're switching out the expensive camera for the cheaper camera to see if it really makes that much of a difference. Now, of course, if you have a crazy expensive camera, you're gonna get better image quality, better dynamic range, color depth, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what we're trying to determine today, is using a cheap camera and see if you guys can really tell a difference or if it's everything else that makes the image look good. So for this video, we're using the Canon Rebel T2i. Now, it is $100 right now on eBay. It is made of complete plastic. It shoots in 1080p at 24 frames per second, and it came out in 2010, which is literally 2 years before the first Avengers movie came out. That's how long ago this camera has been out. But again, it is only $100. Now, other than those features, that's basically it. This does not have any filmmaking settings. This is not designed to be used as a filmmaking camera like the new Canon R5C might have all these different settings. This literally has nothing. So we have to do a bunch of things. We have to download some third-party software and just know the limitations before we start filming with it. So we're gonna be using the Canon Rebel T2i to film a Gatorade commercial. So the cage and rig system that we're using is a little bit different, and I've kind of had to just put a bunch of different pieces together because obviously the Canon T2i does not have a cage that's designed for it. So we've kind of had to do a bunch of different parts from small rig and different rail systems to create this little cage that we have. But the way that I'm using it is something that I saw Shane Hurlbut use in Act of Valor with his 5Ds. They called it the gun cam. And they basically had a handle on the back and a handle on the front, and they almost used it like a gun. And it gives it just a little bit more stabilization. Instead of holding it just with both hands like this and looking around, you have a contact point in the back and a contact point on the front, and you're able to really stabilize the footage while also getting that handheld look. And so I really wanted to use it for this shoot. But another vital piece of gear that we're using for this commercial is anamorphic lenses. Now, if you don't know what an anamorphic lens is, it basically shoots with everything elongated so that whenever you put it into the editor, you can squeeze it back down and you get that cinematic aspect ratio. So that's how they get those black bars on the top and the bottom, by shooting on lenses that elongate the image, and it gives beautiful lens flares, and I love the way that it looks. To no one's surprise, there are hardly any anamorphic lenses that fit on an EF DSLR like this. And so I'm using anamorphic lenses, which are designed for EF mounts like the T2i, and it just makes the image look so much more cinematic, and I love the image that it gives. All right, Angelo, so I'm gonna have you walk from this room into here, and then walk literally to this locker. All right. And go. Very good. All right, right there.
Should be good.
Okay. Get a shot of this in case he just boom. Oh gosh, you're right. Did you get a shot of it? Okay, good.
That's awesome.
And go. There we go. There it was. So I knew with this commercial, I really wanted to focus on the pre-production a lot more, which is something that usually gets looked over a lot with commercials. And that's basically everything that happens before the first shoot day. So that's storyboarding, location scouting, having a shot list, and figuring out every single piece of gear that we need and everything that we need to buy, like a Gatorade towel or a small pin light that you can shine into the lens, all that kind of stuff we needed to determine beforehand. Now, tone and location are some of the most important because your tone will determine how the video is going to look, and your location needs to aid to that tone. So when I first had this idea, I thought more of like a super stylistic, like one light above the boxer's head, and it's like super contrasty. Well, doing some tests with the T2i, we realized that it does not do well with really, really dark environments and really contrast environments. So because of that test, we had to change the tone of the entire video to be more of a bright and more natural looking shoot. So whenever we were Googling boxing gyms and doing some location scouting, the first gym that we actually had picked out turned out to not really work after those tests because the walls were completely black and it just turned out to be way too dark. So we ended up going with this gym that we're actually filming at today, which has these really bright windows. It has that underground boxing feel with the chains and the ropes and all that kind of stuff. And I really like the way that it turned out. So be sure to do a lot of pre-production and determine your tone, and that will determine your location based on your tone. So in this video shoot, we are going to be using a lot of fog and a lot of haze, because what fog does is not only does it look cinematic, but if you have a camera that doesn't have a lot of good dynamic range or it's really contrasty, it just evens out all of the lighting. So the dark areas kind of look brighter and the lighter areas you can see the fog, and it looks really, really good and really cinematic. But what you don't want to do is you don't just want to blow fog everywhere and just leave it. You have to dissipate it, which is what we say every single time we film. You get one of these flags or a foam board or something, and you have to make it completely gone so you can't actually see the vapors in the air. It's just this overall haze, and it looks really, really good. So we're using this fog machine. I'll have a link in the description below for it, but it has been really, really well, and it has done a lot. As you can see, it just looks really, really good and has actually completely changed the way the T2i looks, and I think it is necessary if you're going to be filming something with it. So the one thing about these is that they don't have a very close focal distance, so you can't get super, super close with them. So I actually purchased an SLR Magic. It's basically like a magnifying glass that goes on the end that allows you to just get a little bit closer, because if I want to get some closer detail shots, I can't unless I have this on. So just allows me to get a little bit closer detail shots and to see all that sweat and the pain and the blood. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
And go. So the only thing that I'm worried about is the focus, because I'm so used to shooting 4K that 1080p, literally it looks out of focus. And so I'm having a hard time knowing if it's in focus or not. So it's a little bit more difficult, but I'm making it work. So we'll see what happens. But so far, I'm really shocked at how good it's looking. Like, I didn't expect a whole lot, and I'm actually really surprised. You're literally gonna put this on. There's gonna be 2 tripod legs that go in either one of these, and then we've got another tripod leg that we literally tie around your chest. Okay. So it's not as professional as I'd like it to be, but if I spend any more than $100 on this, I'd be past our camera budget, you know, so it makes sense. Dude, your chest, man, I had so much extra room to work with. I didn't think about Angelo having a giant chest and arms. You can go faster, but just not so much of the shoulder movement, yeah. All right, there you go. So let's actually have you pivot. Let's start over here and pivot all the way around this way. And go. All right, very good. So I cannot believe, I'm like, this T2i is looking good. Now, since the T2i is an old camera, it doesn't have a lot of video settings built into it. In fact, you can't even change the white balance by using a Kelvin temperature, and it doesn't even have a flat picture profile. It only has natural, which is actually still really contrasty. So we downloaded Magic Lantern, which is a third-party software, but nowadays it's not really needed because all of your cameras that you're going to get have a lot of film settings. But with older cameras like this one, it gives us the ability to change the white balance with the Kelvin temperature. It gives us the ability to add a flat picture profile like Cine Style, which we downloaded specifically for this camera, and just made filmmaking so much easier by giving us all of those filmmaking options that we would have had on a higher end DSLR. I'm getting some shots of these old picture frames of these boxers and stuff. I think it's really, really cool. I think it could add a lot to like hear him punching the bag and then like just jump to these random shots of these old picture frames and stuff. I think it could be really, really cool. Just add a little bit and kind of break up the constant just boxing montage. So right now I'm doing some harsh light on Angelo because I want to be able to darken it, give it a little bit more of an artistic look, a little bit of a silhouette look, because it makes the background darker, makes the windows, you can see in the windows, and I actually really like this look. So I'm going to darken the image a decent amount, but we just have to add more light to him. And go. All right, so I'm trying to make the video look natural. I don't want some crazy extreme lighting, but I absolutely love the Nanlight Pavotubes. Now you basically can put these in anywhere, any direction, just clamp them to anything. And yeah, you can use them for an actual light source, but what I love to do is to make them dim and just be able to put them in the corner, and it kind of just gives an accent light. You can use it as a hair light, and with the anamorphic lenses, it just looks so good. So if you notice, I've been putting him in the background of every shot. So for this scene, whenever he's sitting in the corner of the boxing ring, we wanted it to look like this really big arena, and since we didn't have a big arena, we literally have these nan lights set to explosions. And so literally it will do these explosions of light, and it looks like a flash photography. So now whenever he sits down, you've got these flashes all around him, and we've set them to different intervals so it's not all at the same time, and so it just looks like photography flashing. So we have been using these lights throughout this entire shoot. We've used them for key lights, we've used them for backlights, we've used them for accent lights, and they are incredible. I love the look that they give. I love the way they just fit in the background. It doesn't look awkward, it looks great, and these lights have been a lifesaver. So definitely get some Nan lights, they are amazing. This poor unfortunate soul has gone 12 rounds. He's been beaten to a pulp, and we have to make it look like that. So we've got some fake blood, some fake scab, and then some fake sweat. And this is just kind of like oil, and so we just put it on him. Makes him look oily, like he's been sweating forever. So anyway, all right, so look this way, close your eyes. Let's do one. There you go. All right, not to be weird, but hold on. Yes! All right, let's go, let's go. So I want it to be a boom, but you don't have to go, you don't have to take a breath, you don't have to move. I don't need you to stand up higher. I literally just need you to move your head, but it needs to be a, okay, this is it kind of thing. All right, look down. All right, look up. Very good. Do that one more time, tiny bit slower. Go. That was beautiful. All right, so don't move. When you look up with your eyes, hold it for like 3 seconds. So look up, hold it, stand up. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, do that and then take a step and walk past me. Just like walk past me on this side. All right, you ready? You're looking down. Look up, stand up. There you go. No, that was good, that was good. Dude, you look awesome. All right, the only thing I need, Matt, in the big Pelican case is a flashlight, like a little medical flashlight, little pen flashlight. I need you to grab it real quick. All right, away, back on, and then away, back on. Good job. One more time, that was perfect. 1, 2, one more. Good job. Yay! Man, I'm shocked at how good that looked. All right, guys, so we just finished filming our Gatorade boxing commercial with the Canon Rebel T2i, which is only $100 and is 13 years old. And I was actually surprised that it actually looked really good. Like, it actually really, really surprised me. Now, I know that cameras are important, and newer cameras can have better image quality and better dynamic range and color depth and all that kind of stuff. But with all that we did with the fog, with the lighting, with the storytelling, the cinematography, the sound design, the editing, all of that put together and just switching out the cameras, does the camera really make a difference? You tell us what you guys think if you can actually film a professional commercial with a camera that's only $100. So watch the video, let me know what you guys think, and then we'll talk right after.
Well, it's an unbelievable story of a guy that retired the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. Undefeated! He became the heavyweight champion and retired undefeated because he changed his weakness into power. You've got to look yourself right in the eye. You alone must do your job. It all depends on you. I can tell you those slow legs, if you keep running, they'll get fast. I can tell you that if you lift weights and climb rope and all this, your arms will get strong. I can tell you, you can take what you've got and change it into power. Every day, that extra sprint, that extra chin-up or extra weight lift, that's what makes you a champion. That's the guy who hits the top. If you're going to be a champion, you've got to concentrate. You've got to emphasize that which makes you a champion, and you've got to cut out anything that doesn't make you a champion. Concentration, never missing those workouts, working. You want to be great in life, I'll give you the secret. There's no magic to it. It isn't a highfalutin term, but it's the essence of life. Concentrate. I love the sports world because you can't tolerate weakness. I love the sports world because it says to be great, you've got to put out. It's effort, it's work, depending upon your ability, not anybody else's. You've got to recognize your weakness, and you've got to change that weakness into power.
The point of this video is to show, as filmmakers, how much emphasis we really put on the newest camera. I have so many people tell me that they don't want to learn filmmaking until they can save up for that $6,000 camera, or they don't want to start filming until they can get all the film equipment first. And this video proves one thing, that it is not the camera that makes the filmmaker, but it is everything else. It's the cinematography, the lighting, the storytelling, the sound design, the music, the editing. All of that equals a cinematic experience that even seasoned filmmakers couldn't tell a difference. We posted the Gatorade commercial on Instagram and in our Facebook community group and asked what camera they think it was shot on, and everyone was debating whether it was a Red camera or Arri Alexa or it totally looks like a Blackmagic. No, that's definitely a Sony because it has Sony colors, and nobody said, oh, that's a 13-year-old camera, because I can clearly tell a difference. Not even seasoned filmmakers could tell that this was shot on a 13-year-old camera that's $100 right now, because everything else makes the filmmaker, not just the camera. So if you want to learn all the skills necessary to take whatever camera you have and make it cinematic, check out tomorrowsfilmmakers.com. We have over 1,200 training videos just like this, where we teach you all the filmmaking skills that you need to know from leading professionals in the film industry. With over 25,000 students in over 50 countries, a lifetime membership to our award-winning online film academy is only $97. We've also included our uncut 3-hour-long job shadow of the Gatorade shoot, where you basically follow along with us and see us troubleshoot, place lights, what we're doing, talk amongst each other, and it shows me as I direct the actor and get different shots, and you are just a fly on the wall as you watch us create this project. Along with an uncut editing job shadow, where I literally take you from the beginning to the end of editing this Gatorade commercial, and you can watch me try to troubleshoot different things and make the music work and fit all this stuff together and just have an over-the-shoulder look at how we filmed it and edited it. So I hope this video has really helped you guys out and that you've learned a lot, and that you have learned that it is not the camera that makes the filmmaker, but it is everything else. All the skills behind the camera really does make a difference. So whatever camera you guys have, an iPhone, a Canon T2i, a Canon C70, a Red Dragon, whatever it is, learn the skills and the camera will become obsolete, and you will be shocked at the difference that it makes.